In the structure of Adonani, existence is layered. At the highest level is Njoku, the origin of all things, the force behind creation, the unseen source from which life flows. But Njoku is not approached directly, not because he is absent, but because he is beyond containment, beyond form, beyond the reach of ordinary human interaction. And so, between the Creator and the human world, there exists a network, a living system of spiritual forces. These are the Alusi. They are not separate from Njoku. They are expressions of divine order. Each Alusi governs a part of existence: justice, water, fertility, health, harvest, balance. Through them, the universe becomes accessible. Through them, the unseen becomes felt. Through them, the will of the Creator touches the human world. And unlike the distant Creator, the Alusi are near. They are involved. They respond to prayer, to wrongdoing, to imbalance, to respect or to neglect. You are hearing the echoes of Ala, the history of Igbo civilization, stories carried across generations by our ancestors. Here, history meets memory, and myth walks beside truth. This journey is created from a deep passion to preserve and share the story of our people. If these stories speak to you, your support truly means a lot. Tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We would love to know how far the echoes of Isla are reaching. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts below. Remember, the land still remembers. When the sky darkens suddenly, when clouds gather with weight and intention, when the air becomes still as if holding its breath, the people know something is about to speak. Then comes the sound, thunder, not just noise, but a declaration. This is the presence of Amadioha. Among the Igbo, thunder is not random. It is a voice, a force of judgment. Amadioha represents justice in its purest form, uncompromising, unavoidable. In traditional belief, when human justice fails, when lies go unpunished, when oaths are broken without consequence, Amadioha responds. Lightning becomes more than a natural event. It becomes a message, a warning, or in some cases, a punishment. There were stories told quietly of individuals struck after swearing falsely, of homes touched by lightning after acts of betrayal. Whether taken as literal truth or symbolic expression, the message was clear. Truth matters. Justice matters. Because in the Igbo universe, even when humans fail to act, the universe itself does not forget. Not all power announces itself with thunder. Some forces move gently, silently, with a presence that is felt rather than heard, like water, flowing, endless, patient. This is the domain of Idemili. Rivers in Igbo land are more than physical features. They are living spaces, sacred boundaries, carriers of both life and mystery. Children were taught not to approach certain waters carelessly. Fishermen observed rituals before casting their nets. Women fetched water with quiet respect because these waters were not empty. They were governed, watched, protected. Idemili represents purity, but purity in Igbo thought is not only physical, it is moral, spiritual, a state of alignment between the human life and the natural order. When that balance is disturbed, When actions pollute not just the land, but the spirit, restoration becomes necessary. Through water, the Igbo understood cleansing, renewal, and the quiet but powerful force of restoration. To understand Igbo life, you must understand the meaning of the yam, not just as food, but as dignity, as wealth, as survival. The planting of yam is not a casual act. It is a commitment, a test of patience, a measure of discipline. And behind this process stands the spiritual force known as Njoku Ji. Before the planting season begins, farmers prepare not only their land but their spirit, because the success of the harvest is never assumed. Rain must come, the soil must respond, the unseen must align. The New Yam Festival is not just celebration, it is acknowledgement that life is sustained through both effort and grace. Through Njoku Ji, the Igbo recognized that survival is a partnership between human labor and the unseen forces that make growth possible. Some forces do not exist outside of us. They move within, quietly, deeply, often misunderstood. This is the realm of Agwu. Agwu is not a force you simply observe, it is a force that can choose you. Those called by Agwu often do not understand it at first. They may experience dreams that feel too real, voices that feel too close, moments of knowing that cannot be explained. In many cases, this calling is resisted, ignored, feared. But Agwu does not disappear. It waits until the individual accepts their path. Those who answer the call become diviners, healers, spiritual intermediaries. They learn to interpret signs, to understand imbalance, to guide others through unseen realities. Through Agwu, the Igbo recognized something profound. That knowledge is not always learned. Sometimes it is revealed. Across villages and forests, there are places that do not belong entirely to the human world. Shrines, sacred groves, quiet altars hidden from ordinary sight. These are not places of decoration. They are points of contact between worlds. Each Alusi is honored in its own way, through offerings, through ritual, through careful respect. Priests and custodians maintain these spaces, not as rulers, but as servants of balance, because in Igbo thought, the relationship between humans and the spiritual world is ongoing. It must be maintained, nurtured, and respected. To ignore it is to invite imbalance. To honor it is to sustain harmony. But even within this living system of spiritual forces, there was something deeper, a law that governed not just the spirits but human actions themselves, a code that defined right and wrong, truth and falsehood, justice and consequence. Because in the Igbo world, the presence of the Alusi was not only to guide or protect, but to enforce something far greater, a moral order, one that bound humanity to the earth, to the spirits, and to each other. An order watched closely by Ala, where every action carried weight and every violation left a mark. In the next episode, we enter the unseen laws that governed Igbo life, the sacred principles of justice, truth, and consequence. Because to live in the Igbo world was not just to exist, it was to be accountable. In the presence of the Alusi, nothing is hidden and nothing is without consequence.